And I've been reading it, and it kind of seems funny to me that all these people are commenting on it, and they don't even know how to pronounce their name. It's the Nelans. I've heard them called Nelons or Nellans and everything else, but they pronounce it Nelan. But you hear about something like that, and that's not the only thing that you hear about. And you wonder, why? Why? The rest of that family is suffering. Their one daughter was not on the plane with her husband, and she's expecting a child. All the rest of the family was on the plane. One brother that does not travel and sing with them is still alive and there. And why do things like that happen? Bad things do happen. Every single one of us goes through periods of time when bad things. We have difficulties. We have trials. We have tribulation. It might be job related. It might be financial related. It might be health related. It might be, I mean, you can think of a lot of different scenarios that could happen, but it might be the death of a family member or close loved one. Why do things like that happen? They do happen. They do happen. In 2 Corinthians chapter 11, the Apostle Paul contrasted his life with the lives of some of the false teachers that were going around bragging about how spiritual they were. By the way, I see people doing this today too. They go around bragging about how spiritual they are. And, well, I've never been sick. This has been many years ago, and the guy that made this statement has probably long gone. I don't even remember what his name was, but he was a fairly well-known radio preacher. He had one of these voices like this. Well, anyway. But I heard him on the radio one night, and he was talking about that if a person just had enough faith, they'd never get sick. They'd never have any problems, never have any difficulties. And he was telling about how that in all the years, and I think it was like 30 or 40 years or something like that, since he had gotten saved, he'd never even had as much as a cold. And then he said, and here's the kicker to it, he said, and if I had, I wouldn't admit it to give the devil the glory. I'm thinking, so you're willing to lie? It's kind of what he said, you know. Anyway, I'm getting off the subject. Bad things do happen to good people. And no matter who you are, there's a good probability that you're going to have some bad things in your future. You probably already had some in the past. I've been through a lot of bad times, rough times, difficult times. You probably have too. But the Apostle Paul was contrasting himself there in that passage to these false teachers. And he said, why, you know, and he was an apostle. He said he'd been imprisoned and beaten several times. Some occasions he almost died. He had been stoned and left for dead. He had been beaten with 39 lashes on 5 different occasions. He was beaten with rods 3 times. He was shipwrecked 3 times. He spent a day and a night drifting in the sea. And that doesn't even count the incident that happened in Acts 27.